Hi, welcome at Louis' Book Club. My name is Louis de Jaeger and I give weekly one book that you should read, that I've read and that changed the course of my life. Last week we talked about the basic book of organic gardening by Robert Rodel. Have you read it or not? Please let me know. This week we're going to talk about a totally different book, but not that different. It's called Lobbying for Change by Alberto Alemanno, and the subtitle is Find Your Voice to Create a Better Society. Well, I had this feeling when I was a young boy that I wanted to change the world, that I wanted to do something good. When I was 18 years old, I really didn't know how to do this. So I started traveling, of course. During my travels, I found out that organic agriculture was going to play a huge role in my life, better regenerative farming, and now I had all this information in my head about how much better organic farming is, or regenerative agriculture is, if we want to sustain life on this planet. And then my next question was, okay, how are we going to implement this? How are we going to change the world? And I started by following the advice of someone, and that is try to change something that really bothers you, that really frustrates you. And that's exactly what I did. So when I was driving the train for hours every week, I saw a lot of lawns, really tight lawns everywhere in Europe, everywhere where I looked, and temperate climates. And it bothered me so much that I started a campaign called Bye Bye Grass, Bye Bye Lawns. And one of the reasons this campaign became so successful is because I read this book. A friend of me recommended it, and what's so interesting about this book is that it really gives you the tools to start a revolution. It really gives you a guide on how to change stuff. For example, this book gives examples of the people who were behind the roaming revolution in Europe. So before, if you traveled in Europe, for example, I had a Belgium SIM card and I went to France and I did a phone call in France to Belgium. I had to pay so much money. Well, a lot of people were fed up with this, but a few people said, all right, let's do something about it. And they followed this advice. And right now, if you go to France, you can talk as long as you want on the telephone without extra charges if you call your home country. So what is in this book exactly? I'm gonna quickly go through some content here. So they talk about first, what is the problem? What is the solution? What is the toolbox? And in this toolbox, which I really, really love, the main thing is how to be a citizen lobbyist. Now, what's so important about being a citizen lobbyist? You have so many lobbyists in Brussels, in other places where a lot of important or influential, people gather, and you cannot believe how much money is involved in corporations just paying people to lobby, for example, for cigarettes, for asbestos, for pesticides, for unsustainable farming, for the oil industry. And we, of course, would like to give a counterbalance to all these paid lobbyists. Now, who is going to pay them? Where is this money going to come from? You, of course, have a lot of NGOs who also do good lobbying work. But the call to action here is how to be a citizen lobbyist. And from the moment I've read this book, I decided to become a citizen lobbyist and follow this advice. You have to pick your battle. You have to do your homework, and that's important. You have to make this this kind of road map on how you're going to do this. You have to have all the research. For example, I wanted to ban lawns or too much lawns, and I gathered a huge amount of research, talked to a lot of professors on this, so we had a really sound plan. Pick your allies. Are there people already doing the battles that you are trying to fight? And then who pays, also important. We did almost everything as volunteers. We called around to get sponsors. It's good to also find a business plan, in my opinion, so you can sustain this for a couple of years or decades. Use the media. That's something we did at the height of Corona. We were on the news, had more than 1 million views. Then have face-to-face meetings, meet the people involved, and yeah, much more. So this is just a brief review of the content. I had the chance to see Alberto Alemanno live in Brussels once, and I must say he's really doing a great job. I'm curious in what kind of lobby plans you have, and yeah, please let me know and just put it in the comments, so maybe you can find your allies. It's in the book, and yeah, have more chance in succeeding. Good luck. Bye bye.